Shopping has become an American pastime more ubiquitous than baseball. At 116,000 malls and hundreds of thousands of online retailers, Americans each buy an average of 65 garments every year. With trendy clothing available at dirt cheap prices from hundreds of fast fashion stores, shopping may seem like an innocuous hobby. But hidden behind the $5 price tag of a Forever 21 t shirt lies an environmental and ethical crisis that encompasses the globe. The clothing industry is one of the largest generators of pollution, second only to oil. The Indus River in Pakistan, which is the major water source for more than 180 million people, is contaminated by sodium nitrates, phosphates, and pesticides from cotton crops grown to become textiles. This has led to a drop in the population of the endangered Indus River dolphin and, in the port city of Karachi, to the deaths of 30,000 people who consume the polluted water. The chemicals used to dye textiles also contaminate water. The 1,000 textile factories that line Indonesia's Citarum River dump tons of toxic waste from dyeing fabric into the water. Nonylphenol, lead, and mercury contained in this waste have led to the death of 60% of the river's fish and have caused potentially fatal illnesses in the 15 million people who drink and bathe in it. Within these clothing factories, employees work long hours in bad conditions for less than a living wage. At H&M and Gap factories in Bangladesh, Cambodia, and three other Asian countries, women report gender-based violence, including rape and assault. Employees at a Chinese factory where Ivanka Trump's clothing line was made earn $62 for a 57-hour week, and less than a third of these workers are offered the pension and health insurance required by Chinese law. Children are also employed by the garment industry, picking cotton, working in mills, and sewing buttons and beads. Considering how much pollution and suffering goes into every article of clothing we buy, it's incredible how quickly we throw them away. Every year, over 15 million tons of textile waste is generated in the U.S., more than two-thirds of which is sent to the landfill. The solution starts with transparency. Retailers need to report the factories from which they source their clothes and make this information available to all consumers. Further, countries need to establish international standards for factories' treatment of their employees and for the pollution they produce, and to mandate frequent inspections to ensure that manufacturers are following these regulations. But the solution really comes down to us, the consumers. I'll admit it. I used to be an avid fast fashion consumer. My friends and I used to spend hours searching for the best deals at Forever 21 and H&M, and I would come home with bags full of cheap, bad quality clothing. But videos like the one you're watching, and articles, films, books showed me the incredible damage caused by my shopping habit. I now only buy clothing and shoes from thrift stores, and I purchase much less overall. I'm constantly encouraging my family and friends to do the same. Solving the problem of fast fashion requires a fundamental shift in the way Americans view clothing, not as a collection or status symbol, but as a simple necessity. If we buy less clothing, we can afford to buy sustainably made, better quality, albeit more expensive items, or we can take advantage of the hundreds of thousands of pieces available at thrift stores for less than fast fashion prices. Consumerism has caused great damage to the world, but with a few simple changes, Americans like you and me can start the healing process.